management has become a C-suite topic these days. I'm here with Matt Motsick, CEO of Swivel Software, and we're talking about how Swivel is able to provide an easy-to-implement, very granular view of each order, from factory to selling floor. Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about how this works?
Swivel Software allows end-to-end visibility of products throughout the supply chain. If you're a shoe company and you want to find out where your size 9 high heels are, our system allows you to look at where that product is in real time.
Maybe you can show us a little bit about how it works.
When you log into our system, you'll see a dashboard of milestones based off of bookings, based off of where the PO is in the supply chain. So as you see in the shipments by status, you'll see the number of bookings, you'll see the number in transit and shipments. You can also see the bookings by month, by port loading, and also by carriers as well.
So this will actually work for all carriers.
Yes.
So in other words, a vendor or a buyer could have any number of carriers, and they can all be part of this system, all be plugged in at the same time to this system.
That's correct. And
Okay.
so whether you have factories in China or Vietnam or Jordan, we have a whole global capacity to kind of manage the whole supply chain.
So everybody can integrate into that.
That's correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
that sounds
And so
good.
it does also ocean shipments, it does air shipments, ground shipments. Goes from the factory to the door.
Tell us a little bit about how the data gets onto the system. I mean, what does it take for people, because you're talking about so many carriers and multiple factories, how does everybody get their data into that system?
That's right. It really starts at the PO upload process with the factory.
Okay.
So one thing that our software does really well is that it's very easy to use from a factory standpoint. So the factory can either upload it through like an Excel sheet,
Okay.
which is great for them, or we can get an EDI, directly in from the buyer.
So you could even work on an Excel sheet?
That's
Something
correct.
as simple as that basically everybody has?
That's correct.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah. The other thing that we have that's an advantage to us is that we're headquartered in Hong Kong. So our system is actually native in both traditional and simplified Chinese, and then we also have English as well. So it's actually built from the native language of both Mandarin and Cantonese.
So somebody could actually be opening up an Excel sheet in Chinese, enter it that way into your system directly,
That's correct.
and then the buyer could be looking at it in English.
That's correct.
That's what they would need to do.
That's right. So the ease of use and the change management is so easy for us. To get new factories on board, I think it's very difficult sometimes for them because they have so many systems that they have to really kind of input data into.
So with Swivel, all they really need to do is be able to use an Excel sheet.
That's correct.
There's really no other training that they would need in order to be able to start working on your system.
That is correct.
Okay, so it's basically plug and play,
Exactly.
which is great.
That
It's
is-
really onboarding very easy.
Yeah, that's
Very
one of the things that
flexible.
we really want to focus on is the ease of use, not only from the buyer, but also with the factory and the logistics providers as well.
Okay, well, let's take a look at how this works and how granular you can actually get, because I think that's really important in terms of having better control over your supply chain and really being able to tighten up inventory management.
So as you'll see, it starts out really with the customer, with the buyer. So
Okay.
the buyer is U.S. footwear, and we're putting it as U.S. footwear. When we can put it as, once you select go, it actually shows all of your purchase orders
Right.
in a level there. You can even drill into the purchase order to really find out each item or each SKU.
Okay.
And with fashion and footwear, we have it even down to the granular level to go even into the shoe size. That's
Wow.
what it is in here.
So you could actually have the style, the color, and the size. You can drill down into that.
That's correct.
Okay, this is on the purchase order, but realistically, where that purchase order is in transit.
That's right, and we'll show you that too. So on one of these orders here, you'll see the container status,
Mm-hmm.
and when you click on it, it'll actually pop up with exactly the tracking of where the container is
Mhm.
in the supply chain.
So it will show you where that container is, and then in that container, it'll show you what styles, what colors, what sizes, and how many. So you know exactly where it is, not just this container, and then not knowing what's in it. You actually know what's in it.
That is
And
correct.
then when it's gonna get to you.
Yes, that is correct. And as you can see, once we go into the booking management side, we'll actually drill into what's in a container.
Okay.
And so in here, you'll see all of the SKUs and the cartons. So you'll see the total number of boxes, you'll see the total number of items in the container, and it'll have it by even shoe size.
So you really have total control
That's
over
right.
that inventory.
And so this is really for footwear. For like, let's say apparel, garments, we'll actually have it by size of the garment or by the gender. If it's a men's, it's a women's, it's a children's. We also have that down into that granular level as well.
So a retailer really knows exactly what's coming, when it's coming,
That's right.
all the details.
And the good thing is that not only is it good for the buyer, but it also could be good for the corporate or VP level to say, okay, how many of size 8 high heels do we have in the supply chain, and how many are coming in the next 5 days? How many have just left the factory? And it'll also measure how many, if you have actually fulfilled the PO, because a lot of vendors short the PO because they say, okay, well, we've only made 900 out of the 1,000. So it'll automatically tell the buyer how many has been filled on that
Okay,
purchase
so
order.
they'll be able to see, are they getting a full shipment or a partial shipment?
That's correct.
That's great. And can they see then when the rest of that shipment is likely to ship?
That's right. And you can even split out the order to go like so. If some is needed to basically divert from ocean to air, they can actually split out the shipment to go air as well if there is a purchase order that's needed to be expedited.
So they could go into the Swivel system
That's
and
right.
be able to then decide, okay, this part of the order needs to go by air.
That's correct.
Okay, and then that would be in the system, and everybody who's part of that system would know about it, and
The factory would know it, the logistics provider would know it. Yes, everyone is all on the same page.
what are some of the other things that Swivel Software can do?
We not only have the PO management as we talked about, we also have a inventory e-commerce management system. So it allows you to see if your product is stored at any type of distribution center or warehouse, it'll show inventory levels based off of that. So we really kind of want to make sure that it's really more of a full circle, closed end on where everything is in the supply chain. And so if it's not in transit, it's at a distribution center or at a warehouse as well. So we can track that information as well.
So really, from the moment that that purchase order is released to the factory till the moment that particular item gets onto the retail selling floor, you can track it through the Swivel software system
That's correct.
in real time.
Yes, in real time.
So there's no inventory that's MIA. Every bit of it is known, where it is, what it's doing.
Yeah. So you reach a good point. Most systems out there require manually entry to track the shipment. We have automated feeds from the carriers, from the airlines and the ocean steamship lines that actually give us the automated status of where the product is in the supply chain.
As you were saying, it's browser-based. So even on that side of things, you can basically access it anywhere.
Yeah, there's no need for the factory or the logistics provider to be able to install something. All they really need is a web browser, and that makes it really nice.
Yeah, Jeff, sharing this with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And if people want to learn more about your software, how do they contact you?
Yeah, you can go to swivelsoftware.com,
Okay, perfect.
and we'll have a lot of information on that website.
Okay. Well, we're going to be including that information in the details below, and certainly we hope everybody takes a chance to reach out to Matt. It's a fabulous system, and it seems to be the right software for today's needs.